Welcome to the School of the Lost Tribes. Sirach 2:1. My son, if thou come to serve Yahweh, prepare thy soul for temptation. Each verse explained. This is an exhortation to the Israelites returning to Yahweh after captivity and rebellion. Serving him brings trials, especially in a world hostile to covenant obedience. The scattered must know, repentance won't be easy, but it is necessary. Set thy heart aright, and constantly endure, and make not haste in time of trouble. Each verse explained, the scattered of Israel must realign their hearts, returning to the law and enduring affliction without rushing Yahweh's deliverance. This mirrors the patience required in exile, waiting for the promises to be fulfilled. Cleave unto him, and depart not away, that thou mayest be increased at thy last end. Each verse explained, Israel is urged to cling to Yahweh, even when surrounded by Gentile customs. In doing so, they will be restored and elevated in the end, fulfilling the prophetic promise of their regathering in glory. Whatsoever is brought upon thee, take cheerfully, and be patient when thou art changed to a low estate. Each verse explained, the scattering of Israel was a humbling, a low estate, but they are told to endure this discipline with patience, understanding its corrective and redemptive. Joy must come from knowing the purpose behind the suffering. For gold is tried in the fire, and acceptable men in the furnace of adversity. Each verse explained, the righteous among Israel are refined through affliction. The exile, poverty, and oppression they face are not to destroy them, but to purify them for future service and inheritance. Believe in him, and he will help thee. Order thy way aright, and trust in him. Each verse explained, faith and obedience go hand in hand. The scattered are reminded that trust in Yahweh must be coupled with righteous living. Help is promised, but it comes through covenant alignment. Ye that fear Yahweh, wait for his mercy, and go not aside, lest ye fall. Each verse explained, those Israelites who still fear and revere Yahweh are to wait, meaning they are not to assimilate or adopt other nations' ways. Going aside, leaving the path, leads to spiritual downfall. Ye that fear Yahweh, believe him, and your reward shall not fail. Each verse explained, belief in his promises of redemption, regathering, and the kingdom ensures reward. This is not generic salvation, but the inheritance of Israel's national destiny. Ye that fear Yahweh, hope for good, and for everlasting joy and mercy. Each verse explained, hope is not vague. It's the expectation of Israel's restoration. Everlasting joy is the reign of the righteous remnant in the kingdom promised to David's seed. Look at the generations of old and see, did ever any trust in Yahweh and was confounded? Or did any abide in his fear and was forsaken? Or whom did he ever despise that called upon him? Each verse explained, this call to remember history is for Israel alone, recounting their forefathers who trusted Yahweh and were delivered. This verse roots faith in national memory and covenant history. For Yahweh is full of compassion and mercy, long-suffering and very pitiful, and forgiveth sins, and saveth in time of affliction. Each verse explained, even in rebellion, Yahweh shows mercy to his people. This is directed at the lost tribes. Forgiveness and salvation are still available if they turn back to him. Woe be to fearful hearts and faint hands, and the sinner that goeth two ways. Each verse explained, this is a warning to double-minded Israelites, those who try to serve Yahweh and the nations. Fearful hearts and divided loyalties result in judgment, not blessing. Woe unto him that is faint-hearted, for he believeth not, therefore shall he not be defended. Each verse explained, lack of faith cuts off divine protection. Scattered Israelites must be bold in trusting Yahweh, even while surrounded by unbelievers and hostile conditions. Woe unto you that have lost patience, and what will ye do when Yahweh shall visit you? Each verse explained, those who give up during the wait for deliverance will face shame when Yahweh returns to restore his people. Impatience leads to forsaking the covenant, which is spiritual suicide. They that fear Yahweh will not disobey his word, and they that love him will keep his ways. Each verse explained, obedience is the proof of love. Israelites who truly fear Yahweh live according to his law, even while scattered. They reject man-made doctrines in favor of the commandments. They that fear Yahweh will seek that which is well-pleasing unto him, and they that love him shall be filled with the law. Each verse explained, the desire to please Yahweh drives the remnant back to the law. The law is not abolished. It is the standard of love, wisdom, and covenant. They that fear Yahweh will prepare their hearts and humble their souls in his sight. Each verse explained, preparation involves internal transformation. The scattered Israelites must humble themselves, turning from pride and self-will to repentance and submission, saying, we will fall into the hands of Yahweh and not into the hands of men, for as his majesty is, so is his mercy. Each verse explained, in the end, true Israelites would rather trust Yahweh's mercy than man's systems. This final verse is a declaration of surrender to divine discipline, knowing it leads to life, not destruction.